We also want an experience that's competitive and fair. We are a very competitive game. That's our DNA. That's who we are, right? You go back all the way to the very first Halo, right? Multiplayer. I mean, it is a highly competitive game. And so
this is a complete misunderstanding of what Halo is at its core. Halo CE was never meant to be competitive. The whole idea was that it was meant to be a fun party game. If you pull up a tweet from one of the original Bungie devs, they say, and I quote, "My goal was to make a fun party game with shooter mechanics. I wanted a shooter Nintendo would have been proud to release." So, do you really think that a shooter that the devs wanted Nintendo to be proud of was made to be extremely competitive first and foremost?
We're a very competitive game. That's our DNA. That's who we are, right?
No, you're not.
You go back all the way to the very first Halo, right? Multiplayer. I mean, it is a highly competitive game.
No, I don't know if you've ever played Combat Evolved, but it really isn't. The appeal of Halo to me and 99% of the player base that aren't hyper competitive esports sweats has always been that it's dumb, innocent fun you can just turn on, enjoy, and not have to take too seriously. There were always modes that took the game seriously, so if you wanted to go that route, you were accommodated and you didn't feel left out or left behind, but the number one goal of Halo has never been to be a competitive game, and whenever it was, they just alienated the majority of the players. Halo has always been dumb, casual fun with your friends first, and that's why it succeeded so hard. The games have always had competitive elements, and saying otherwise is just flat out wrong, but that's never been the primary appeal or primary goal of Halo. I don't know where 343 have pulled this misconception from, but it's not true. Let me tell you that almost 10 years ago, 11-year-old me did not play Halo 4 to sweat out really hard and compete. He picked up Halo 4 and played it because it was casual fun. Nowadays, you just really can't play Halo without feeling like you have to sweat out desperately. The skill-based matchmaking makes this really hard. The fact that, just everything about this game is just designed to be competitive first, and it really strangleholds the game. One underrated example of this, for example, is when you die, you get these, giant irritating white flashes of light on the screen, and they remove the goofy Spartan death noises. It's very hard to get angry at dying or take it seriously in the original Halo games when your Spartan's making some goofy noise. And I think that definitely makes the game more fun and feels like you have to take it less seriously. But with Infinite, you just have these irritating white flashes next to no noise from the Spartan dying. The game just feels really engineered to just piss off its players as much as it can and make you want to take the game really, really seriously rather than just kicking back and just shooting some people, dying one or two times, and not really caring because, hey, it's a fun time. That's what Halo should be, but 343 in the past 5 years have just been desperately trying to turn Halo into this hyper-competitive esport, and just time and time again, it just is not working. Now, what I'm not saying is to completely ignore the competitive scene and go all in on the casual scene. They tried that with Halo Reach and 4, and while it definitely does appeal to more players, it is still very flawed because competitive Halo players do exist. What they need to be doing is striking the balance they managed to strike in Halo 3, rather than hyper appealing to one market or the other. Halo is about appealing to a whole bunch of markets at once, and right now they are not doing that. What Halo also needs to be doing is toning down the skill-based matchmaking in casual games. When I matchmake into a game under the social playlists, I don't want to be matchmade into a lobby that's specifically chosen its players to be as competitive and closely matched as possible. I play social games to play a casual Halo game.
It's not true. That's impossible. No!
For example, whenever I match into Halo with one of my friends, this friend is considerably better at Halo than I am. So whenever I match into Halo Infinite with him, rather than feeling like I'm having a good time with my friend, I feel like I'm deadweight because I'm in lobbies that are way higher skill than I am. And it's not like I can do much to improve this because unless I match into Halo with him, I'll be matched with players that are exactly my level. So pretty much I get a 50-50 win rate and you never really learn anything because you're not really being exposed to any meaningful challenge. So rather than getting my ass handed to me a few times and then learning the ropes, figuring out how to get on this lobby's level and start playing that, I get occasionally my ass kicked whenever I want to play my friend, and then I go back to lobbies that are specifically designed so I can do just okay. This doesn't help me learn or get better at the game at all, it just makes it feel more daunting to play Halo with my friends. So, in conclusion, 343 fundamentally doesn't understand the fact that Halo is not a competitive game first. Competitive is absolutely a valid part of Halo and should not be ignored, but it should never be the priority of Halo's design. And in the past 5 years, that's just what it's been. This makes the game feel really alienating to me and just not fun to play. The very first Halo game, Halo Combat Evolved's multiplayer, was envisioned to be a party game with shooter mechanics. 343 have almost all but abandoned that design philosophy in order to chase an esports scene. 343 really needs to work to strike a better balance between casual Halo and competitive, because competitive Halo should never be the #1 priority when designing a Halo multiplayer, and I'm tired of 343 pretending that it is. What are your thoughts though? I'd love to hear them in the comments down below if you agree or disagree with me, and if you like gaming videos like this, consider subscribing. Okay, and with that, I think that's all. Thanks for watching.